And welcome. It's Monday morning. You know what that means. It's time for another edition of the ETBU Sportsnet Coaches Show. I'm Kenneth the K-Rock Klein, but who's asking? In the meantime, though, I do know a guy that likes this Monday morning, and ETBU head women's basketball coach, Rusty Rainbolt. Coach Rainbolt, how are you doing on this fine Monday morning?
Doing great, man. It's a good day. I told my wife this morning when I woke up, it's a good day to try to move the kingdom forward and give God the glory and share the gospel.
Absolutely. And, well, Coach, I got to say, last week, pretty special week, especially. Not only the fact that you came away with two big wins, but one of those wins, even though it was a non-conference game, came against the University of Texas Tyler. And that was a historic occasion for a couple of reasons. Number one, first win against UT Tyler in 9 years. Number two, first win against UT Tyler at their place in a span of 9 years. And number three, on a more personal level, it's that completes my whole entire resume of teams, of ETBU teams that have been eligible to play UT Tyler that have came away victorious. So,
well, I'm glad we could put a check mark on your resume.
All right, but in all seriousness, Coach, hard-fought game, came down to the last minute, and then you were able to deliver the big shots. You know, playing UT Tyler, it's no easy task, whether it's at their place or at your place. What was it about that game that kind of stood out to you as a mindset of, hey, this could change. We could really pull it off, a big win? Well,
like you said, they're a very good program. Last year, that was the only conference opponent that we didn't beat. And so, we have a lot of respect for them because they have really, really good players. They're very physical. They have a big team that can really rebound the ball. They've got a bunch of good players. It's hard to say who the best player is because they've got so many that are, such valuable weapons. But Carissa is a heck of a player, and we wanted to go in and make sure that we didn't let her get a lot of shots off, and we didn't do a great job of it. And she's just one of those kids you can't stop. You just try to slow down a little bit, and then their post kids are just so good. And so we were very happy to come out of there with a win. We talked about. We had to win the rebounding battle. I don't know if we did that, and we talked about we needed to take care of the ball and find the assist on offense, and we didn't do that very well either. So, all things considered, we were very happy to come out of there with a win.
I think checking back, I might be wrong, but you probably had a slight edge in a rebounding battle in that game.
Is that right?
So yeah, well, I'll have to double check the stats, But in the meantime, though, you also came away with a win against Ozarks, who is a very talented team, but you managed to take care of business against them. And, well, this week, of course, you know how it's kind of crazy because you've been in this in the ASC before. You know how the scheduling works. Once you complete the teams in the first division, rather than go all the way back and start over at the beginning again, but at a different place, you kind of have to do a little bit of an inverse. So this week you're taking on Ozarks and then Tyler once again. Given the fact that you just played both teams, is that kind of a tough transition to say, well, we just played these two teams, so we know what they're capable of, and now we got to get ready to take them on again?
Yeah, it's weird. When I was in the ASC before, coming to ETBU years ago, we didn't do that. We'd play everybody, and then we'd start back over at the first one to play. So last year was weird for me to have to do that, and it's a little bit of a weird feeling again this year, but I think it probably helps both programs. I mean, us and the Ozarks and Laterno and Tyler. I mean, everybody does it, but playing the same two teams again, it definitely it's not an easier week in terms of preparation, but it is in a sense that you don't have to start from scratch on a scouting report. And so what you do is you go back and just fine-tune everything and watch what happened in the game one and try to make adjustments and all that. And so kind of a little bit of an NBA feel, how those guys in a 7-game series or 5-game series, they get to watch a game, turn around, try to make in-game adjustments. We get to do that too now. And so we'll work hard on that. But we do. We've got a lot of things that we've got to get shored up for the Ozarks and then Tyler as well. So, but it'll be fun.
Absolutely, Coach. So, one thing that has really been amazing that I've just noticed from Mark, because Mark kind of likes to come up with the stats, you kind of have a tendency, like you have one of the best defenses in the conference, and usually that means holding down opponents' top scorers below their averages. So, like when you get a scouting report and you look and say, okay, who's the leading scorer of their team, is it kind of like, to try to hold those players down? If you can do that, then you pretty much have an edge, or does that kind of apply to pretty much everybody else?
Well, we don't we talk about who the other teams, what we would say are their best players or their biggest threats are, but we don't really go into a game saying, okay, we're going to try to stop that one kid. We believe that defense is 5 people defending the ball. And so, we play all zone defense, so we don't have one person guarding, one girl guarding the other opponent's best girls. It's all 5 of us trying to stop the ball. I've never seen a team throw a man in the hoop. They throw the ball in the hoop. So our goal is to always be a unified unit defensively, and wherever the ball is where it depends on how we're defending things. And so, we do try to take away every single player's best asset, and typically teams' best scorers or leading scorers have a great skill or a couple of great skills, but whether a kid scores 15 a game or a kid scores 4 a game, every kid has their tendencies offensively. And so we Coach Henson and Coach Jay do a fantastic job of scouting the other teams and making sure that we understand what each player's tendencies are, and trying to take away that strength within the confine of our defensive scheme. But we don't go into a game saying, hey, we've got to stop this player and we win, because this is college basketball and they have a roster full of college players. And so, there's a reason why they're in college and they're good players. And so we feel like we've got to stop everybody and defend the ball first.
All right, Coach. Well, best of luck to you this week as well. You're taking on Ozarks and University of Texas Tyro. It should be a fun weekend, of course. And by the way, I know you threw a challenge to Mark and us, and we're still up for that challenge.
Hey, 3-man roll, women's basketball staff versus SID staff. It's on. We just need to hype this up, and we may could raise some money, and.
See, yeah, that's the thing. Like, we got to find out what the stakes are. That's the thing. Like, maybe say if we succeed, cut practice early for the women's team, or I don't know, but we'll figure all that out. But
so if we win, y'all are buying us steaks?
I wouldn't go that far. All right, we'll worry about that when it comes to time. But
hey, we need everybody out this week for these games.
Oh,
these 2 home games. We need people to get out here.
Yeah, it's going to be a home game. You need to come on out. So, all right, folks, Ozarks this Thursday at 5:30 p.m. and then Saturday 1 p.m. at UT Tyler. Last time these 2 teams will meet, but that's for another day. For the time being, we'll be right back on this YouTube channel with more on the ETBU Coaches Show.